Alright, we're going to go ahead and begin with making the supports for the back of the Billboard frame. This one's going to be just a small basic roadside frame, so it's going to sit kind of low. It'll only stand about 1.5 inches, maybe a little taller than that. So it's just going to be really small. On the back, the supports, we're going to do 4 of them. And we're going to do kind of a very simple method that was commonly used, where basically just some boards were just nailed together to make it. So what we're going to do starting off is we're going to take some .020 by .040 strip styrene. We're going to cut it to 1 3/4 length. We're going to need 4 of those, and we're actually going to only need them about 1.5 inches long, but to keep everything uniform we need to cut them a little long, and then we'll trim everything down once we get these little trusses all built. And then also in the same length we're going to cut some 1x4 or .010 by .040, which will serve for the back. The .020s are going to be the vertical supports. These ones are going to be the supports that are angled. And the method that we're going to use to build this, you don't need to really cut any intricate angles or anything like that. It's all going to be very simple. And then for those to go into, we're just going to cut some 1/2 inch long strips of the .020 by .010, or .040, excuse me, or 2x4, which will make it a little simpler. We'll just need 4 of these as well. Okay, we'll also need some horizontal supports, but we'll do those in just a moment after we kind of get one of the basic frames glued up and we know what size we're going to need those to be. Okay, as you can see, I've gone ahead and re-taped down my 90-degree angle, and we're now going to take some of the 2x4 inch strip and go ahead and put it into the corner, and then we'll take one of the 1/2 inch long pieces of the same thing, and I'm going to space it out about 3/4 of an inch. Then we'll go ahead and use tweezers for this, because we need to kind of delicately place this on here. Take some of the 1x4, we'll kind of gently place it in. We'll go a little high. Remember, we'll trim all this down once we get to it. And we're going to place it so this is towards the top and down to the bottom, and it's just placed right on top. Nothing just very simple, nothing too high-tech. Actually, I think I want to cut these down a little bit. I think I'm going to take off about 1/8 of an inch, and that I'm just going to do just very carefully on right on my cutting mat with my X-Acto knife. Sorry, I did that in a place where you can't see what I just did. Again, place that right up on top and right in there. And then we'll glue it in. Just a gentle drop on the top and then down here at the bottom. We'll just make sure the upright is in. Okay, as you can see, I've flipped the frame over now that it's set up. And to do the horizontal piece, I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but it's just 3/4 of an inch, which is what I spaced the 2 vertical posts with, to do the little horizontal piece. And that piece we're just going to just gently stick on the opposite side, and just try to keep it as horizontal as possible. And just put it up about 1/4 of an inch from where we're at, and that'll be good. And then to do just some extra bracing, we're going to do the exact same size, which is going to be a 3/4 inch 1x4. We'll place it just right above on the longer vertical piece. I'm going to stop on me, so let me show you what I did. I have the fence on the chopper set up to 1 5/8, and I just stuck each of my supports in there and then just cut each one to length. That way I've got a perfect 90-degree angle with the vertical support. and with the two legs. Really simple step. That way it just makes every single one uniform in height and they're all perfect. Next, what I did is I took the on the back side of the frame, I marked off 4 spots where my uprights are going to be. Basically all I did is I just divided it by 3 and that gave me my 4 positions which put each one just barely over 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to go ahead and glue each one in. We'll just line the top of our support with the top of that piece that we glued on, which will make it nice and easy. So let's see if I can do this without getting my fingers and hands in the way so you can see what I'm doing here. So the first one we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on. We're just going to line this one right up to the edge. By putting a little bit of glue in there, just gives us a good little tacky surface. We'll still need to add a little bit more in there just so it'll kind of secure it. That gives us one support. You can just kind of check, make sure we're at a good 90-degree angle. It's a little off, but we can kind of flex it in. There we go. So that gives us our first one, and we'll kind of just work our way down. We'll get the next one in. So that gives us our first. Alright, we're going to go ahead and cut our horizontal and our X bracing. For horizontal bracing, we're just going to cut some of the 1x3 styrene into just 2 3/8 lengths. We only need 2 of those. So we'll go ahead and cut both of those. Put those off to our side. And then for the X bracing, we need some at about 2 3/4, which is quite the stretch for the chopper. It's about as long as it will go. So dialing it in there is kind of a challenge. Once you got it, you're okay. And again, we'll need 2 of those as well, the same size strip styrene. So now, what we're going to do is take our little frame, and we're going to need to glue on, if I can grab them. Where's my tweezers? I'm going to glue on our horizontal bracing first. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get on. We'll do one across the bottom first of all. It will go. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and get the horizontal bracing in, or the cross bracing in. So we've already done the horizontal bracing. Just put glue on the 2 points. And I had to trim this short just a little bit, just about an 1/8 inch short, so it would fit okay. That gives us the first one, and we'll want to glue it down to these other beams so it'll give us a little extra support. So, I mean, not only does it aesthetically make the sign more pleasing, it also does add strength. It holds this whole thing together. Alright, I've gone ahead and gotten the last horizontal bracing in, and then just glued it on each end and then in the middle. And so it actually gives quite a bit of support. This is actually, the glue hasn't fully set up, but it's actually gotten pretty sturdy. It's still not enough weight for it to stand up on its own. It's standing on its own right now just because my workbench is at a slight angle, and so it's got gravity helping it out. If I lay it on a flat surface, it falls forward, which is fine. And when I add it to the layout, whenever that happens, it'll basically become planted into the layout and it won't go anywhere.